All right, pretty excited to have Joe and Matt here, best-selling authors of Fundamentals of Data Engineering. We are here at Chill Data Summit, and I'm excited to chat with them about everything around data engineering, what's coming up for them, books, courses, consulting, what's happening in the world. Matt, tell us more about what you're working on.
Let's see, various things. Definitely in consulting space at the moment. I guess we're also looking at doing a lot more trainings in the near future, including unboxings for new features of open source products. That's kind of in the works. Any thoughts about that, Joe?
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on there. I'd say yeah, we got a lot of requests for consulting, a lot of requests for all kinds of stuff. So we're just figuring out a good way to make it tasteful for us and for everybody else. I think we're hitting on something. So I'm not gonna say too much right now, but stay tuned for details as they come up. So yeah. Other than that, working on a book, and then a course. And that's about it, really. And I'm sure there's a lot of other stuff I forgot. What else are you working on? Like,
Yeah, various writing projects right now.
Nice.
So should see more about those in the near
Yeah.
future. Yeah.
Okay.
We're like incredibly inscrutable. And
I know
it's like,
we're trying to
we
be
do
mysterious.
things,
That's our brand. It's mysterious.
You'll
Okay.
know it when it's out.
Yeah.
Also, a question around, obviously data engineering. Like
Right.
the time, I think it's been 2 years since y'all have written the book. Almost there?
Year and a half.
Yeah.
Year and a
a
half. Yeah. And we've seen the space moving up real quick. Like there's so much development that has happened after the book. There's
Yeah.
been like discussions all around. Tell us more about how you look at the space right now. Is it mature? Is it getting there? Or people understand more about the space than before?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, the elephant in the room is generative AI, right? And there's a lot of discussion about how generative AI is going to maybe replace engineers or replace human labor in various ways. I don't think we're there yet. I think it will turn out to be a simplifying tool, but I think the other thing we're interested in is how we can deploy more data engineering practices in generative AI. I was talking to Makiko Basley the other day, and she basically said that the attitude right now for model training is just like throw all the garbage in the hopper, right? There's really not much in terms of what we would consider good data practices.
making generative AI, are you talking about making generative AI more teach data engineering, or making engineers who do Gen AI more like data engineers?
Yeah, so basically taking data engineering practices and bringing them to training of models and data processing and such. As opposed and so we've seen some of the consequences of like not thinking about data quality, right? So a lot of the issues.
Oh, it doesn't matter, Matt.
That's
Why,
right.
why would you care about
fine.
that? It's stupid.
Yeah. But I think we'll see changes in that part of data engineering, certainly, where we start to deploy some of those practices. And it's going to be hopefully a virtuous feedback loop as well, because how do you detect things like hate speech and copyrighted material in the first place? Well, I think data engineers will need to learn to use some of the new tools to do that stuff in order to support better model training, but also all parts of data engineering.
That's a good point.
That's awesome. Since you've brought up the topic, obviously, around generative AI, I'm kind of curious to know about what's the big piece that you've seen has actually happened in Gen AI and seems to be, promising in the year of 2024. I know it's changing every minute, every every hour, where we are in the world of AI now. What do you think about that, Matt, Joe?
I think large language models are interesting, but I think they're also kind of boring. What I'm really interested in is actually all the research that companies like Google have been doing around being able to take like 2D images and be able to turn those into video and render video. I think like all the spatial stuff I'm
Yeah.
fascinated by, and I'm also curious how generative AI starts working with stuff like Vision Pro. So those are the things I'm actually most interested in. I think ChatGPT is cool, but at the same time, I'm wondering how much more cooler it can get. But the multimodal stuff, and like I said, especially more like spatial, I don't know, like, in secret I nerd out just thinking about that stuff. So ChatGPT, I use it all the time, but I don't know, it's kind of like, you're familiar with it now, you know what it does, right?
Yeah.
It's not a new thing,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, and it doesn't feel like we're at a stable point, right? It feels like the domain is just going to keep changing incredibly fast. Change leads to change, basically. So really
Yeah.
hard to try to make a reasonable prediction of what the world might look like in 2 years. I don't
Or
know.
like 2 days.
Or 2 days for that.
Yeah.
matter. Yeah.
But yeah, should be fun.
Okay. Quick question around you guys travel a lot, and people love to meet you all as well and hang out. What's
Well, they like Matt. I'm just.
I don't travel as much as Joe. I don't travel as much.
I
as
just
Joe.
travel and I show up places and it's like, ugh.
so? What's your next travel plan? Joe, where are you? Matt, where can people find you?
Actually, we'll be at was it Skiers and Data in lovely Switzerland.
Yeah, the first
Yeah,
of March.
Skid.
And I'm planning to hang out in France for a bit after that too. So if anyone's around, I'll probably end up
Yeah.
in Lyon at some point. And so love to meet people.
I'll be at Deep Fest in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, right after that. Then come back, and I believe I'll be in. Well, nothing's locked down, so I'm just going to be a lot of places after that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
His schedule is wild. I don't know how he does it.
So,
All right, that's awesome. So, one last question around the book.
yeah.
When can people?
Which one?
The new one that's coming.
Oh.
I know about that.
Okay.
So when can people, at least pre-book it or pre-order the book?
Yeah, well, so my new book, I'm actually writing a lot of it in public on Substack. So it's at practicaldatamodeling.substack.com. And it's a different approach, I would say, to writing a technical book, but I feel like the nature of a book is also changing,
Yeah.
not in no small part due to large language models, but I'm really excited about it. Great community so far. We're approaching 3,000 members in that community
Wow,
already.
It's huge.
Yeah, and it has like 2 pretty dumb articles on it, so it's the future can only be brighter from here. So,
Yeah.
Matt, what about you?
Yeah, I'll have more material coming out with Chris Tabb in the near future. So
Nice.
yeah, that's the main focus at the moment. And I think we're still messing around with titles and things. I think the term business value is really overloaded because it can mean so many different things.
So is data modeling.
So is data modeling. That's fair. But I think
Yeah.
for us, it's like in a world of hype, there's a lot of excitement right now, and there's also a lot of hype. Like, how do you actually figure out what is useful for the core practices of your business? And
What if you just
with
ignore
respect to Data, which you can do, right? We've
Yeah.
seen that many
Yeah, maybe you're
times.
better off. I don't know. I mean, it just, what does it matter at the end of the day? You'll.
Yeah, you can continue. I mean, not that Excel is terrible, but you can just continue using Excel for everything, and I guess your business will just kind of muddle along, and But yeah, when I talk to, I think that this theme really kind of resonates in our book as well, right? Like, what is the point of all this data engineering stuff in the midst of a hype cycle? And hopefully, we made that point.
It's obviously to become attractive globetrotters like ourselves.
That's
I
right.
mean, that really is the only reason you do this.
Instagram
So,
influencers.
yeah. Really, I mean, that's it, right? That's why we do data engineering. It was all a ruse the entire time, actually. So.
That's awesome. Okay, so you're at Chill Data Summit. What are you most excited about? Joe, you're keynoting. I know you are not.
Oh yeah, I am in a few minutes. Yep.
Tell us more about it. What are you most excited about Chill Data Summit?
I have to go up and give a keynote in a bit, so I'm excited to do that. And then I'm excited for a panel in the afternoon. That'll be good. But lots of great talks. People like Lucas over here who's walking over there, and then Ryan who's checking his phone over there. A bunch of other great speakers. It's gonna kill it. So, more just looking forward to just catching up with a lot of old friends here and making some new ones. And how about you, Matt? What are you excited about? What excites you,
yeah,
Matt?
definitely catching up. But I think the themes of the talks today are very focused on practicality, like how do we put all these pieces together. And so it is nominally an iceberg summit, but it's more about like how do we actually make this work in production in our companies, and how do you deploy these into your organization if you're changing technologies.
Yeah.
I think that's great. So yeah, it's very New York, right?
It's kind of raw.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
That's
It's
awesome.
cold.
All right, this was great.
Yeah.
Thanks, Joe. Thanks, Matt,
Thank you.
for doing this. Always love chatting with both of you, and
Likewise.
can't wait to.
Yeah, you get the authentic New York ambiance in the background, a siren. It's great. So, thank
All
you.
right. See you guys. Thank you very much for watching.
Later, guys. Bye.